Welcome to a model steam engine test plant. This is part 16. There are a few ways to make the top cap for the condenser from a square of 3mm brass sheet. This method is not the most sensible one to use, but it works. On one side of this piece of 3mm brass sheet is a self-adhesive protective coating, and this is very useful for marking out. It's important to position the steel rule exactly across each corner. If it's off by any tiny amount, then the hole will not be in the centre. This is definitely a measure twice and drill once job. After I've made a cross in the centre of the piece of metal, I use a felt tip pen marker to put a spot on it. I'm going to drill and thread a hole in the centre of this piece of brass to accept this boiler blanking plug that I used previously when I made the base for the water tank. I don't normally use a centre punch, but I thought I would in this case. I drilled a hole which is tapping size for 5/16 by 32 threads per inch in the centre of the square. Then I threaded it 5/16 by 32 and fitted the modified boiler blanking plug in place. I'm going to make a mess of this job on purpose. I do not recommend doing it. It would work perhaps with a very small, fine lathe tool, not this great big one. It's fairly obvious what is going to happen when I apply too much pressure. The 5/16 thread in the piece of brass just strips, but it's not important. I'll tell you why later. I removed the blanking plug and destroyed it in the process, and here I'm using my bandsaw to cut around the edge. I've got a nice clean line to cut to. But it's very important that I control the bandsaw blade so it does not cut inboard of the line. I could have made this part in so many different ways. I could have used a sort of fly cutter tri-panning tool. I could have put it in the rotary table with a small milling cutter to cut the groove. When I make these videos, I try and take into consideration the type of machine tools in the average viewer's home workshop. Okay, so maybe you don't have a bandsaw, but then you could always use a manual fret saw. I don't think I could get by without this bandsaw. I use it for so many operations. I'd like to mention at this stage a health and safety warning. Always keep your hands behind the cutting edge, and that way you're far less likely to cut your fingers. As soon as I'd finished the job, I threw away the nasty sharp pieces. After cutting out the part using the bandsaw, it wasn't perfect, so I cleaned it up somewhat in the outer part of the workshop using my 1-inch belt sander. The heat of the belt sander melted the plastic protective coating slightly, but this wasn't a problem. I re-drilled the centre hole, tapping size for 7/16 by 32 threads per inch. Then I threaded the hole with a 7/16 by 32 tap. I used a piece of hexagon bar stock large enough to turn the end to 7/16. I threaded the end 7/16 by 32 and now it's in the chuck. I centre drilled the end to take the live centre, and as you can see, I've turned the outer diameter to quite a nice finish and the correct size. The next part of the job involves drilling down the centre, tapping size for 5/16 by 32 threads per inch, which is the thread size of the steam tap that I'm going to use. When I threaded the outer part of this bar, there was a problem. I couldn't get the thread right to the end. Here's a solution. Reverse the die on the work, and then the other side of the die cuts right up to the shoulder, or near enough anyway. This is a tip I've not really mentioned much in most of my videos, but I use it a lot. As you can see, the thread is almost right up to the hexagon part. All the things that you're seeing in this video took place while I was simultaneously doing a boiler steam test on the bench behind where I'm stood. This did affect my concentration slightly, because I made more mistakes in this video than I normally do. For instance, I pulled the piece of hexagon brass out of the chuck before I threaded it, which was not a good idea. I should have left it where it was and only pulled it out of the chuck a bit further for parting off. And that's what I'm doing currently. Luckily, I'd cleaned out the chip tray, so finding the part as it fell into the chip tray was easy. This clip shows a really bad practice. I'm holding the part very lightly by the threads and gently facing across the front. This is a really quick way to destroy the part you're working on. Once I've faced across the front, I changed the angle of the tool just to chamfer the edge so it's not sharp. And I'm checking this by using my finger, never a good idea as the part is hot. I think the time has come to remove the plastic protective coating from the top of the cap. Now I need to screw the boiler bush firmly into the cap. It's going to be soldered as well, but I need it to be tightened all the way in. I was going to use a spanner, but then I thought I may mark the brass. So instead I fitted the part into the chuck of my Myford ML7R lathe, and here I'm securely tightening the cap onto the bush using a piece of fine Scotch-Brite. Why do I need the Scotch-Brite? Well, it gives me more grip. It was remarkably easy to unscrew the 5/16 thread from the boiler bush. And here is the finished cap. This boiler bush matches the boiler bushes on the water tank side of things. I've temporarily fitted a steam tap so you can see what it's going to look like. This steam tap will have a piece of copper pipe soldered into it that goes all the way down to the bottom of the tank. These are what I'm going to use for the steam outlet to the chimney from the condenser. I'll hold the part in position with my scriber so you should get the general idea. I will also have to fit an exhaust inlet, and that will be 5/16 by 32 threads per inch. The plant is quite near to completion now, just a little bit more drilling, threading, soldering and piping. That's it for now. Stay safe, stay healthy, thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.